And then at the very end, what we're also going to do is some real scenarios on what people are doing as far as like how much money they have and how much FICO or what their FICO scores are at and what kind of product would or what kind of loan would be the best fit for them. So stay tuned for that for sure. Okay, so then let's talk about some real life scenarios. I want to talk about some imaginary buyers and let me know what the best fit would be.
Okay.
So let's start with like a first time buyer.
Okay.
A first time buyer, they've been at their job for 3, 4, 5 years.
Okay.
They have $20,000 saved up,
Okay.
and maybe their FICO scores are around 650 to 670.
Okay.
Could they get a loan?
They could. Let's go to the three things that we look at: credit, income, and assets. Mid 600 credit score, not a slam dunk by any means, but we've done many loans with a credit score in the mid 600s. So let's, for now, say credit's a go, right?
Okay.
Okay. Income, I don't think you gave me an income amount, but let's say they earn combined income $8,000 per month.
Correct.
Okay. We take that $8,000, 4,000 of that can go towards debt, right? So depending on the total debt that they had, as long as they didn't have a Bentley, with a $2,000 a month payment and, a ton of student loans, $1 million of student loans, but as long as that monthly debt didn't exceed 50% of the income plus whatever it is that they're looking for in a purchase price, right? So sometimes it's not so much a matter of if the client qualifies, it's a matter of how much they qualify for. So that credit score is sufficient to qualify for something, but depending on their debt, depending on their income would dictate how much of a loan they could get.
Okay.
And then $20,000, definitely sufficient to make, in your scenario, I'd probably go with an FHA loan because a mid 600 credit score, FHA is the best fit. So 3.5% down, they'd be buying a house for $400,000, $500,000. Start running into some trouble with closing costs, which we could get into more detail in another video. But there's sufficient funds available there to definitely make the minimum down payment of 3.5% for an FHA loan.
Okay, great. Okay, so scenario number 2, like what if, I know you do a lot of VA loans, right?
Yep.
So they're a veteran. They don't have much as far as a down payment.
Yep.
But they're making decent money. Maybe they're in the 8 to 10,000 range.
Yep.
But maybe there is some student loan in there.
Yep.
And their FICO scores are, let's say, 700,000.
Yeah.
So I know this is kind of like a softball thing, right?
Right.
But I mean, as far as like the VA is concerned, I know a lot of people are kind of unfamiliar with that product. But what can you share about that?
Yeah. So VA is my niche. It's my specialty. I'm a vet and bought a house with a VA loan. VA is probably the easiest loan program out there to qualify for, quite frankly. Like a 700 credit score is, more than enough, right?
Okay.
VA is very lenient with credit scores. I've done VA loans with credit scores in the 500s. So 700 is a slam dunk.
Okay.
And because VA loan is 100% financing, that 10 grand is going to go towards covering, closing costs, their taxes, their insurance, anything else.
Got it.
And really the sky's the limit in terms of what they could purchase. Because if they've got the income, the VA loan is unlimited as far as how much they can finance. So I've done VA loans for $1.9 million, 100% financing, which is insane. But you've got to have the income, right?
Yeah.
That is a fat mortgage payment,
Yeah.
$1.9 million.
All right, so the last scenario is going to be somebody with maybe lower credit, solid employment, but no cash on hand, like no money for down payment. What would your suggestion be?
Got it. Depending on how low the credit score is, let's say it's a 550, right? Which without a significant down payment with a 550 credit score, you're not going to get a loan, right? And we already said this particular person doesn't have assets, right? So with a 550 credit score, the immediate answer is, sorry, most likely you're not going to get a loan, right? However, what we would do is we would take a look at credit, analyze the credit. We have a tool, and it says, hey, if you do A, B, C, D, E, F, and G, your score is going to go from a 550 to, I've had it go up 100 points. So let's say from a 550 up to a 650 credit score, right? At that point, you're not quite yet eligible for all of the down payment assistance programs that are available. You might need to get your score up even a little bit higher to like a 660 or so. But at that point, you would get yourself into a spot where you could be looking at utilizing a down payment assistance program. Those are a little bit more restrictive in terms of how much of a loan you can get for your income. Instead of that 50% number, it then goes down to 45%. So you're not qualifying for as much, but you can get some of that assistance to help you with your down payment. Maybe you come in and help getting a closing cost credit from the seller. But it's definitely not an immediate no if there's some funds available to pay down some debt, or if there's absolutely nothing, they can at least start grinding, working for Uber, paying off that debt over time. If the credit score is low because of late payments or a bankruptcy, that's maybe a scenario where time heals all wounds. We would still do the credit analyzer, give them some feedback on utilization of debt that they have, but they may just need to wait in that particular scenario.
Yeah, but like the thing that comes to mind is like if there's the goal in mind, if the real goal is to buy a home for the family or get started in the real estate market, if there's enough, that why is strong enough, right?
Yep.
There's a plan that you
Right.
can walk them through, whether it's 1 year, whether it's 6 months,
Right.
where they will have options.
For sure. I've had some scenarios where, client is they have a big why and they do everything that's needed right away. Sometimes, there is some funds they can utilize to pay down debt, get the score up, and it's immediate, right?
Yeah.
Other times it's going to take time, and that's okay too. The line I always use is, I can't want the house more than the client wants the house, right?
Yeah.
So I can give them direction on, hey, here's the steps to take, but at the end of the day, you've got to make the steps necessary to get yourself into a position to purchase a house. So we'll give you that advice, do A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. Here's how you get your credit up. And maybe you do have to wait, but if you're motivated, you'll get there. And I've had people 5 years ago that are now buying house.
Yeah.
Right? It took time.
You guys, this is what I want to communicate is that, if you have a particular situation that you're curious about, that, we can help, don't hesitate, reach out. There's no cost. We're just here to be a resource and to help out. So I really appreciate all that information. That's good stuff.
Thanks for taking the time to chat. Appreciate it.
Yep.